So many different people. So therefore, there is a helpless um, dependence on each other to give common pleasure to Krishna actually. So therefore, how do we know that I am progressing on the path of devotional service or not? If there could be a single parameter of gauging our progress, then it is how much I am feeling dependent on the association of devotees. If that feeling of dependence is going down, then probably our devotion is also going down. If that feeling of dependence is going up, then I am progressing. So, any discussion points, questions, comments, anything you would like to share? Yes. First, let others ask, then Keshapriya Mataji will have a list of questions. So, but she gets to ask every day. So, if others would, you have some questions, comments. You can ask in Tamil. I can understand Tamil. Answer in Tamil also.
Prabhu, you were telling about patience in devotional service. Is there any limit or is there any yardstick of patience which is to be adhered to, or we have to be patient till we go to the next step? Is how to.
Patience means you know that when you know that you have to diligently practice and wait for a long time till you reach the next stage. When you know that, then you have to be patient and execute it till you reach the next stage, and then be patiently execute your duties at that stage till you reach the next stage. So patience has to be
Continuous.
It has to be continuous.
So you told about dependence on devotees, but main challenge we face is when we deal with devotees, we come across many problems, and we sometimes feel I am done. I can't even move with these people.
Devotees.
Yes, like this, like that. We'll have many of the people. They'll have that experience. So how to cross over these things?
See, that is where when we all have problems. The same person with whom we have a problem, we have a choice. We have many devotees. So we don't have to have a very intimate relationship with all the devotees. But at the same time, you cannot say that I can have with none also. So at least few we have to identify and see that there is some level of like-mindedness. So then we have to sacrifice, because there is no question of affection or trustworthiness without our sacrificing. So that is why you see, even though there may be some persons from whom many people are running away, even they will have some friends who have invested in them more than you. Their own children will not run away from them, because there has been some mutual investment of affection there. So, we are not omnipotent like Krishna, where we can, we have all the time and energy to invest in everyone. But at least we have to choose a few and then invest in them. One of the main problems with our nature, human nature, is generalization. So when we have a problem with one devotee, two devotees, three devotees, four devotees, then yes, all devotees are like this only. So we very quickly jump to generalization, whether it is good experience or bad experience. Okay. In the early stages of Krishna consciousness, we generalize good things.
Yes, Prabhuji.
After we spend time, we very quickly generalize
Yes.
bad things, right?
Yes.
All devotees are
Like
like this only. In the initial stage, all devotees are like this. So, but, uh, but, but both kind of generalization is actually wrong. So we cannot generalize like that. We have to understand that we have this tendency and it's a detrimental tendency, actually. Because this is not true. This is not true. Because we are not taking responsibility. We are pushing the blame on others. We are not filling the ATM and just putting card one after another after another after another. No ATM has money. So the ATM has money, but your account does not have money. If the ATM has money, it is not obliged to give you. Similarly, devotees have the capability to give affection and take affection, but just that we have not invested in that devotee. So therefore, we have to understand, especially in an institutionalized setup, generalization is very easy. Actually, all people are like this. All temple devotees are like this. All congregation devotees are like this. Like that. It's very easy to generalize. So, so we have to understand that I have this tendency to generalize. If at all we have to challenge ourselves, because every devotee has a potential to serve Krishna. Every devotee is a potential servant of Krishna. So every devotee can elevate our progress in Krishna consciousness. But within that, also there is scope. Choose those whom you feel are fairly like-minded and invest in their association. Serve them. Without sacrifice, without sufficient sacrifice, how will we earn a trustworthy friend? We can brand everyone as untrustworthy. But the problem is not with them. The problem is that we have become cynical. The problem is not with lack of people being untrustworthy. The problem is with ourselves being cynical. Because it's not that, because what we think as realization should be supported by the Shastras. Like I often share this example that yesterday also I was sharing. So, I was traveling with one devotee. The devotee is also from Coimbatore, but he's not in this room. So, long time back, I was traveling with him, very good friend of mine. So, travel times are good times because you don't have much service. You are free, he is free. There is time for some opening up your heart, and you can freely discuss. So we were having one such discussion. So he told, Prabhuji, I have a very big realization. I said, yes, please share your realization. So he said, many years back when I joined the ashram, I thought this devotee is really wonderful devotee and I should befriend him. So I started serving him very nicely and doing lot of service. Over a period of time we developed a very good friendship. But after some time, some misunderstanding came, some miscommunication, and the friendship broke. I was very dejected. A few months passed. Then I thought, oh, this devotee is a very wonderful devotee. I wish to establish a relationship with him. I served him very nicely, pleased him. A relationship became formed. And After some time, some miscommunication, some misunderstanding, the relationship broke. Like this 3-4 times happened, 5 times happened. Now I have this deepest realization. What is that realization? In this material world, there is no relationship possible with anyone, good relationship. You have to wait till you establish that relationship with Krishna. So now, this is based on his experience only. He's not just like that making it up. But the problem is, even though this is based on proper experience, but the experiment is not complete, because you have just done the experiment on others. You have not done experiment on yourself. So how is that a complete experiment? Right. So therefore, maybe our expectations from a friendship were unreal. Maybe we were so self-absorbed that I have done this, I have done this, I have done this, I have done this. Now it is time for him to repay. But whether whatever we did, whether he even wanted it, whether he liked it, whether is he even is that person even comfortable with the type of intimacy that I am expressing to that person? Instead of thinking along those lines, we are just absorbed in no reciprocation coming. So it breaks like that. So yeah, we have to be careful about our tendency to generalize things, especially after spending time in Krishna consciousness. The tendency to generalize it the other way. No one is trustworthy. Everyone is a hypocrite. Everyone is living double life. Everyone tells something and does something else. No one is trustworthy. This is actually, it's not that all of a sudden Rupa Goswami's principles are no longer applicable in this material world. We have reached an emergency situation where, probably the 4th verse of Nectar of Instruction is no longer relevant in today's day and age. Because look, we are living at an emergency situation where absolutely no one is trustworthy. Like that. But it's not like that. Is that okay?
Yes.
There is a proverb that familiarity breeds contempt.
Correct.
Is it applicable to devotees too?
True. So, familiarity, true. So, familiarity, when it will breed contempt, when familiarity in a relationship is based on how the other person can help me, rather than how I can serve that other person. So, actually, familiarity with a self-centered mood leads to contempt. Familiarity will breed contempt, but familiarity in a mode of service will breed affection. Actually, like we have been, how many of us have changed our parents? Or how many of us have changed our children? Becoming. So, when there is some amount of selflessness and a mode of service, then that familiarity breeds affection. Actually, the more you become familiar, the more you know what displeases that person. But the more we are self-centered, the more we become familiar, we find, oh, he has these traits which displease me. But the more we become, when there is a mode of service, the more we become familiar with them, we will see, oh, I have these traits which will displease him. So let me try to curb these tendencies so that he will be pleased in my association. Right. So familiarity breeds contempt as long as the purpose of association is selfish. But if it is in the mood of service, then familiarity ideally breeds affection and intimacy.
Yes, if the person whom we are serving is a self-realized person.
Well, if he could be a self-realized person, or at least one who is interested in going on the path of self-realization. Right. So you can be a person who is self-realized and would make no mistakes, or you may be a person who is on the path and willing to rectify your mistakes. So if you are on the path, if you are perfected and you will not make any mistakes, very good. If someone is like that, if you find someone like that. But as long as you are a pair of souls who are willing to accept your mistakes and rectify your mistakes and mutually encourage each other, that is also a good combination. So to say that unless I find a self-realized person, I will not associate, then good luck. So that is not something, if that is the case, then definitely Rupa Goswami and other acharyas would have mentioned that way, that unless you find a self-realized person,
You don't associate.
not worth it. So then why would the self-realized person associate with us? You are not self-realized, right? So he will say, please stay aside, I have other self-realized souls to associate with, right?
Like see, self-realized person, like a lotus on the river, they don't affect. They
They will not get affected.
Yes, they will not get affected.
Correct. So we have to see, not getting affected, for that, that they will not get affected, but in their association, we may also get affected unfavorably. Because even a self-realized person may have some idiosyncrasies which we cannot process. Like perfected devotees, in the mood of prema, they may act in some ways which an ordinary conditioned soul cannot process actually.
That person will be normally Uttamadhikari.
Yeah,
They cannot distinguish.
true. Yeah. And seeing them, we can also not distinguish. So we may also start offending them.
But Prabhuji has come to the level of Madhyamadhikari in order to speech. He is normally a Uttamadhikari person, but in order to give the speech, he has to come to the level of Madhyamadhikari.
True. That is true. But again, Prabhupada also encouraged that, not that, encouraged, budding devotees also to go around and give their association. So, therefore Prabhupada didn't say that sit every day, just chant inside and just hear my lectures, and once you become perfectly self-realized, then go out and preach. Prabhupada did not say that. None of the acharyas also, there is no precedence for that in the parampara also. So, sincerity is important. Sincerity of purpose and an intent to correct our mistakes if we are making mistakes. So therefore, we choose whatever association is there, we try to make the best use of it. So, I think that is the best thing. It is like Prabhupada used to say, a blind uncle is better than no uncle. So, if you till your uncle gets his eyes, it's better to have blind uncle than no uncle. So, and slowly your uncles will also they'll get vision. So, and the way they can get vision is through the association of other blind uncles. Right. And amongst many blind uncles, if some uncles with eyes are there, which is very good, but still blind uncle is better than no uncle. Anything else?
Guruji, one more question. When Dhruva Maharaj, with a desire, material desire, with the guidance of Narada Muni, went to the forest and did his tapasya. And after seeing the Lord, he realized that instead of asking for a diamond, he has just asked for
broken
broken
pieces
pieces
of
of
glass.
glasses. But the Lord has given him the benediction to rule the world for so many years, and then come to me was the blessings given to Dhruva Maharaj. Is this applicable for all the devotees, those who are practicing in Krishna consciousness? Because we as a having association with the material realm for so many years, everyone will be having little or bigger material desires. And once if you are following in Krishna consciousness also, will the Lord ask us to go through this cycle of everything and then come to Him?
First thing, if you become qualified, the problem here is we are superimposing our current state to the state when you would become qualified to have darshan of the Lord. When you become qualified to have darshan of the Lord, at that time you will not have material desires.
Yeah, that is what has happened for Dhruva Maharaj also.
At that stage, Vishwam Purna Sukhayate. Even if he asks you to stay and as an instruction take care, you can still be in Krishna Prem and not be affected by it. And not that he had some purpose to be accomplished through Dhruva Maharaj, he asked him to stay back. If he does not have much purpose to accomplish through us, he may take us back immediately. But either way, we will not be deprived of prema.
Yeah.
The experience will be the
The
same.
prema will be
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like now we are just planning to teach in college and companies, Prabhuji. At that time, like the bridge preaching type of things takes place, Prabhuji. That time, Prabhuji, we want to associate with them in their own way, Prabhuji. Like not in their own way. Like we doesn't want to introduce them the philosophy, the whole package of the philosophy, Prabhuji. We want to introduce them in a slow way, Prabhuji. That time, Prabhuji, like Sanatana Goswami, Prabhuji used to go to Vrindavan and he used to tell them Gramya Katha and get the attraction of Rajvasi.
No, he never used to do Gramya Katha as such. Okay. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. So I was just going through, like.
No, you can go. See, there is a difference between the type of Gramya Katha. So, the type of Gramya Katha, it is not Gramya Katha, that he used to do is, this year, how did your crops grow? You are looking for a boy for your daughter. Did your daughter get married? He did not say, India versus Pakistan, who won? This kind of Gramya Katha he would never do. So something which was valuable for them, which was necessary for their, something which was naturally affecting their this thing. They had affection for the family. He utilized that and he genuinely meant it. It was not something he was doing just like that, just for attracting them. He genuinely was concerned about something which was occupying their mind, which was not giving way to think about Krishna. So therefore, preaching for newcomers is always bridge preaching only. Because preaching means giving faith where there is none, and where there is faith, giving them knowledge. But to give them knowledge without faith is to commit the 9th offense to the Holy Name. Right? Instructing a faithless person about the glories of the Holy Name. You don't allow him to develop that faith, come to that level of faith. You know the holy name? Chant the holy name. Pick up the bead bag. How many rounds do you chant? So, this is, he will just run away. Right? So preaching to newcomers means give them faith, help them develop that faith when that faith is not there. And when faith is there, you give them knowledge. But to be over eager to give knowledge without sufficiently facilitating the development of faith will lead to ourselves committing the 9th offense to the holy name. So, in that, somewhere when there is no faith, so you may have to do certain things which will enhance their faith in that process. So they may slowly develop faith in you. So faith means what? Faith means agyata sukriti. So when you do something nice to them, you even help them out. There is some material problem they are struggling with. They don't have a job or they're trying for a job. You don't even have to get them a job. You hear them with empathy. Oh, is that what is troubling you so much? And genuinely, when we feel for that, you have purchased their heart. They feel very good about you. And when they feel good about you, they get agyata sukriti. And that agyata sukriti, slowly when it builds up, it becomes faith. When it becomes faith, then you can tell them, chant the holy name. They will chant. So, till then, or it may even happen that, okay, give me your resume. I will try to circulate it to whomever I know. Nothing fruitful may come out of it. He may not get a job because of your endeavor. Doesn't matter. But when he sees that here is a person who is concerned for me, he may not see you as a devotee. But if he has that favorable attitude towards you, this is bridge, right? Where you are directly talking about the holy name, where you are directly talking about chanting. Do something nice to him. Someone is hungry, give him a plate of prasadam. You will get some sukriti. And when that sukriti matures, it will become automatically faith. Mood and like-minded. Yeah.
So, like if we have same mood, same like-minded, we can grow easily and we can close this mind. If something like up and down, how we should adjust our life with other people?
If there is not much of like-mindedness, how we should?
Have to go together.
You have to go together. Yeah. Yeah. So certain relationships are like that. Right? Oh, I don't share like-mindedness with my father. You don't have a choice. It's okay. So I don't have like-mindedness with my friend. I can change my friend. No problem. That does not mean today I found he is not like-minded, tomorrow someone. Not like that. Certain relationships are, whether it is like-minded or not, we try to adjust. Certain adjustments have to be done. Like between siblings, between father and mother, between son and mother, or father and daughter, or between husband and wife. These are relationships which you cannot change. So there, like-mindedness may not be there, but there could be a higher principle of making it work somehow so that it benefits the children, it benefits the overall family, it benefits it helps maintain a proper mood so that overall Krishna consciousness can be taken care. So with that mood, you have to do some give and take, little bit you adjust, little bit the other person adjusts. So that way, so over a period of time, one may become like-minded also. So like that. So we have to see the overall picture. So, and having said that, even if one finds out that okay, my husband is not so much like-minded, fine. But you may have a friend who is like-minded. So you have to probably do the duty of a husband and wife, even though there may not be significant like-mindedness, so that the Krishna consciousness of the overall family is taken care. But that like-minded nourishment that you may seek, you may get it from your friend who is like-minded. We don't have to, the non-negotiable relationships that we have, that are, father, mother, husband, wife, and children. If there is no like-mindedness there, you don't have a choice. You cannot give up that relationship. So we do the necessary adjustment from our side so that the overall Krishna consciousness of the family is maintained. But what about my like-minded, the need for a like-minded associate to nourish my Krishna consciousness? That you seek from your friend. If you don't have, you may have a counselor who may be like-minded. You may have, so that you can get from someone else. It need not come from, it's not that, okay, every one of your relationship, you evaluate whether there is like-mindedness there or not. It may be there, may not be there. Is that okay? Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
It's actually not related to today's topic, Prabhuji.
Preferably related to today's topic. If it is not related to today's topic, after class we can always discuss. So if it is related to today's topic, if there is anything anyone would like to share as that, we can.
Prabhuji, you told Prabhuji, like the level of association. Prabhuji, like first like-mindedness come, and when we advance to that stage, Prabhuji, we just connect with the bhava of the person, Prabhuji. Like he is having the same bhava. So Prabhuji, like the bhava is something, Prabhuji, like which we have inherent in us, or it gradually comes through the sadhana bhakti, Prabhuji, what we practice.
Whether it is inherent or we get by sadhana bhakti, it is definitely nourished by association. So, association nourishes it. So that is very clear. So, if it is inherent, then by association you will very quickly achieve your original state. If it is not inherent, then by association we will very quickly achieve it. So, for both, association is very critical, whether it is inherent or not inherent.
And Prabhuji, to think of that stage in the very beginning, we should not have that thinking, Prabhuji. Yes, we have to focus on our sadhana.
I told in the beginning the various levels, depending on which level you are in,
Yes,
that is your like-minded association. Most of us are probably at a stage where like-minded association for us is definitely Vaishnavas, like-minded association for us is definitely ISKCON devotees, and like-minded association for us is definitely, maybe someone who shares a liking for the same limb of devotional service, or a same group, like that. It could be that. So at that, we are mostly at that level. So we can just focus on that. Anything else?
Because sometimes after having a long travel with a devotee, with association, sometimes the priority or the like-mindedness or the person, those who we are associated with, due to some reason,
It may change.
change.
Yeah.
Then what to do? What are we to do?
So, in that sense, we can still maintain a respectable relationship because my like-mindedness has changed. We do, as we evolve in devotional service, we do develop difference in taste.
Yeah.
Right. Like say for example, someone has nurtured you in Krishna consciousness in a particular way. Okay. You actually develop some, but after some time, you may like some other association little more nourishing.
Yeah. Happens.
Right? It happens, right? So, but that does not mean it should remove our gratitude towards whoever nourished us in the beginning. Like Krishna Prabhu and Mataji, they were the ones who introduced me to Krishna consciousness. Okay. So, even though on a day-to-day basis, I don't talk to them to seek nourishment so much, but my gratitude for what they have done to me when I was a nobody, just roaming in the streets, that gratitude need not go away. Having said that, on a philosophical level or on a personal level, I may have found some other people down the line who may nourish me more. I cannot say that, how can I be unchaste? I have to seek nourishment from here only. No. You seek nourishment from where you get. But don't forget previous. So every once in a while you come to express your gratitude in some or other. Because when I was malnourished, they picked me up from the street and nourished me. So now that I may need a different type of nourishment which I am getting from someone else, that's fine, no problem. But don't forget to express your gratitude and maintain a cordial, nice relationship.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything else?